It was supposed to be a joke. That's what his coworkers had said when they secretly signed him up for a blind date. "You've been single too long, Aaron," they teased. "You need someone to make you smile again." What they didn't tell him was that the woman he was going to meet had been in a wheelchair for years. They thought it would be funnier pairing the overworked single dad who barely smiled with someone they believed would make him uncomfortable. But what they didn't know was that this one cruel trick would change Aaron Hale's life forever. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected love, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal, where real emotions and true hearts find their stories. Aaron sat in the small cafe copyright downtown, nervously stirring his coffee. His shirt was pressed, his tie straight, but his eyes carried exhaustion of the kind only single parents understood. He had been raising his 6-year-old daughter, Mia, alone since his wife's accident 3 years ago. That loss had carved something deep inside him. He'd stopped hoping, stopped trusting, stopped believing love could ever find its way back. The bell above the cafe copyright door chimed, and Aaron glanced up. For a moment, he froze. A woman in a sleek, charcoal grey wheelchair entered the room. Her long dark hair fell gracefully over her shoulders, and her deep hazel eyes were calm yet sharp, like someone who had learned to hide pain behind quiet strength. She looked around before her gaze met his. A soft smile touched her lips. "Aaron?" she asked gently. He stood up awkwardly, unsure if he should extend his hand or not. Yes, that's me." "You must be Claire," she said, her voice warm but restrained. "Claire Evanson." She maneuvered her wheelchair gracefully to the table, her movements confident and practiced. For a brief, uneasy second, Aaron felt guilty. He wondered if his coworkers had told her who he really was, or if they had played this cruel game on both sides. But as soon as she started speaking, all those thoughts began to fade. Claire had a way of making silence feel safe. She didn't pity herself or ask for pity. Instead, she laughed about her overprotective assistant, about her stubborn cat, and the way the cafe copyright served the world's most disappointing croissants. Slowly, Aaron found himself laughing to a sound he hadn't heard from his own mouth in far too long. He noticed little things about her. The way her fingers brushed the rim of her coffee cup when she was thinking, the way her eyes brightened when she listened. There was elegance in everything she did, an invisible strength that pulled him in. By the time they finished their drinks, the sun had begun to dip behind the glass windows. Claire looked at him with a teasing smile. "You don't talk much, do you?" Aaron chuckled softly. "I used to. Guess life just a broken bar taught me to listen more than speak." She tilted her head. "Listening isn't a weakness. It's rare." That night, Aaron went home with a feeling he hadn't known in years, a peace. But when he got to work the next morning, laughter filled the office. His coworkers were huddled around, whispering and smirking. Someone had printed a photo of Claire from her company website. "Dude, you actually went?" one of them said between chuckles. "Didn't you see? She's in a wheelchair." "We didn't think you'd show up." Aaron froze. His stomach turned cold. "You did this?" he asked quietly. They shrugged. "Relax, man. It was just a joke. She's not even a real match from the app. We just thought it." Aaron didn't let them finish. He walked away without a word. But inside, something was burning: a shame, anger, and guilt for ever thinking he'd been tricked into something embarrassing. Because now he realized she wasn't the one to pity. They were. He couldn't stop thinking about Claire. Her calmness, her courage, her grace. So that evening, against all logic, he called her. "Hey," he said softly when she answered. "I had a good time yesterday." "So did I," she replied, her voice lighting up. "Maybe next time, you'll actually eat your croissant." Their next meeting wasn't at a cafe copyright. Claire invited him to a park near the lake, where she often went to read. Aaron brought Mia along this time. He wasn't sure why, but something told him Claire would understand. Mia, shy at first, hid behind her father. But when Claire showed her how to feed the ducks from the edge of her chair, Mia's laughter filled the air. Soon she was asking 100 questions: why Claire's chair had buttons, how fast it could go, whether she ever raced people. Clara answered each one with patience and humor, and for the first time, Aaron saw his daughter smiling like she used to. Over the next few weeks, their bond deepened. They shared stories about loss, about courage, about what it meant to start over. Claire told him about the car crash that had changed her life 5 years ago, how she'd spent months in a hospital, doctors telling her she might never move her legs again. She didn't sugarcoat the pain, but she spoke about it like a survivor, not a victim. Then, one afternoon, while Aaron was picking up Mia from school, he received a call. It was Claire's assistant, sounding panicked. "Mr. Hale, Claire had a medical emergency at the office. She's at St. Vincent's Hospital." Aaron's heart pounded as he raced there. When he reached her room, she was pale but conscious, her smile weak yet still present. "Just overworked," she whispered. "You shouldn't have rushed." "That's not something you get to say," he muttered, trying to steady his breath. She chuckled softly. "You sound like my assistant." He sat beside her, holding her hand gently. "You scared me, Claire." Her fingers tightened around his. "You scare me too, Aaron, because I wasn't planning to feel this way again." For a moment, neither spoke. The air between them felt fragile but like something too precious to touch. A week later, she called him to her office. He'd never been there before. He entered a towering glass building downtown, where the receptionist greeted him with a respectful nod. "Miss Evanson is expecting you." When the elevator doors opened on the top floor, Aaron froze in astonishment. The office was vast, elegant, and filled with light. Behind a sleek oak desk sat Claire, looking radiant and confident. "Surprise," she said, a soft smile curling her lips. He blinked. "Wait, are you Broken Bar the CEO?" Claire nodded modestly. "Of Evanson Tech." "I don't usually mention it early on. People act differently when they know." Aaron laughed in disbelief. The woman his coworkers had mocked was not only stronger than any of them but far more successful. "You really are full of surprises." "Life forced me to be," she said simply. "But I'm glad you stayed long enough to see who I really am." From that day, everything began to change. Claire became part of their world. She'd visit Aaron and Mia on weekends, sometimes bringing small gifts, a book for Mia, or homemade cookies that always came out half-burned. Aaron started smiling more. He stopped feeling like a man trapped by his past, and started feeling like someone rebuilding a future. Still, not everyone understood. Some of Aaron's friends whispered behind his back about how he was dating a woman in a wheelchair, about how strange it looked. One even said, "Don't you think you deserve some only a broken bar normal?" Aaron didn't argue. He just smiled, because what they called normal, he now saw as empty. Claire's love wasn't pity, it was strength wrapped in grace. She made him believe in life again. Months passed, and their bond grew stronger. One spring morning, Claire invited him and Mia to an outdoor charity event hosted by her company. There, in front of a large crowd, she rolled onto the stage and began speaking about perseverance and acceptance. Her voice trembled slightly as she spoke about people who had stood by her when life seemed impossible. Then she looked directly at Aaron and Mia in the audience, her eyes glistening. "Sometimes," she said softly, "the people who save us don't even realize they're saving themselves, too." Mia waved from her seat, her little face glowing with pride. Aaron felt tears well up. In that moment, he knew why this woman, once mocked by others, was the most extraordinary soul he had ever met. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Aaron and Claire sat together by the lake where they'd first brought Mia. The air was golden and still. Aaron turned to her and said quietly, "You changed everything, Claire." "I don't even know how to thank you." She smiled. "You already have. You saw Mia, not the chair, not the pastor, just me." He took her hand gently. "And I'll never stop." If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal, where we celebrate love that heals and second chances that rewrite lives. And before you go, tell us in the comments, would you still believe in love if it came to you in the most unexpected way? Because sometimes, the cruelest tricks of fate turn out to be the kindest blessings in disguise.